I'd just like to welcome you all. My name is Peter Jones, based in the Centre for Transport Studies here at UCL. Unfortunately, Professor Nick Tyler, the director, is not able to be here this evening. He's not in London, but he's asked me just to step in and welcome you all to the university and to our engineering building, which is our headquarters, where those of you who've been here before probably know we're based in the main quad, but the engineering faculty and the dean are based in this building here, so we always pay homage when we come here. Previously, we've been over in the main quad, but those of you that may have come that way will have seen that it's graduation at the moment, and there are lots of students and families celebrating, so all the catering facilities in the main block have been booked for months, and I couldn't get any, so that's why we're here. But I think everything should work fine. So, as I say, thank you very much for coming on behalf of UCL and the Centre for Transport Studies, and I'll now hand over to Terry Hill, who's Chair of the Independent Transport Commission, and will be taking us through the first part of the evening. Thank you, Terry.
Lovely, thanks very much indeed, Peter. And so, it's wonderful, we've all made it. We're all here. Matthew tells me that that there are a few who've dropped out because of COVID, actually, a bit of a resurgence. But this looks like a good, healthy crowd, and it's pretty significant that this is our first in-person annual lecture for a bit, and so it's wonderful that we all, and how apposite for the subject we're going to talk about how we all need to get together in city centres. So I'm just going to introduce Professor Sarah Sharples, who's going to give us an opening address before we get on to our two main speakers. Now, yes, I shouldn't really need the notes. I know you so well, but my goodness me, you're busy, aren't you? So Professor Sarah Sharples, she's Chief Scientific Advisor at the Department for Transport, and she tells me she's 1 year in on a 4-year. So I guess you must be at peak effectiveness now, I guess, 1 year in. I'm doing that. But she's also Professor of Human Factors at the Faculty of Engineering in the University of Nottingham. And from 2018 to 2021 was Pro-Vice-Chancellor for Equality, Inclusion and People. She's led research in transport, manufacturing and healthcare, and currently leads the EPSRC Connected Everything Network Plus. And she founded and is co-director of the EPSRC's Horizon Centre for Doctoral Training. And there's more. Has led research examining implementation of new technologies in rail, highways and aviation. And she was also president of the Chartered Institute of Ergonomics and Human Factors from 2015-2016. So, Sarah, welcome, and thank you for coming.
Thank you. It's a real honour to be invited just to say some opening words at this event. I think it was 4 years ago or so that actually I was one of the speakers at this event, and I really valued the opportunity to be able to talk to such a diverse group with so much experience, and I found it gave me a real opportunity actually to reflect on what the important things were to say based on the research that I'd been doing in recent years. So I'm really looking forward to our two speakers, and I dare say that this was one of several things that gave me the enthusiasm and the impetus to apply for the role of Chief Scientific Advisor at the Department for Transport. And it's a role that I'm really enjoying, and a role where I can really see actually some excellent work that's being led both by the Department for Transport and by others within the research community. But also my job is to provide independent challenge to the department, and actually organisations like the Independent Transport Commission are absolutely critical for enabling that independent voice to be heard by groups such as government. So this is a very sort of influential and important grouping. The Independent Transport Commission is Britain's leading pan-transport and land use research charity. And I think that charitable status gives it real power and authenticity in terms of its independence. The Annual Lecture series has been running since 2013, and it explores wider policy issues which impact on land use and transport. Over this time, the Commission's welcomed more than 1,000 guests to hear expert talks on topics from aligning transport and housing policy to the connections between travel and health. So this year's lectures explore the future of the city centre after the pandemic. As we're all very much aware, the COVID-19 pandemic has wrought significant behavioural changes, and we've seen major shifts to working practices, shopping habits and living choices. And all of those are very much reflected in the transport and the travel that we see around us. Urban leaders and designers need to take account of and understand these changes as we reformat our cities and we re-understand our cities to meet future challenges alongside the challenges we were already acutely aware of before the pandemic, such as decarbonisation. So the lectures that we're going to hear today will examine how our needs from the city centre have changed and the challenges that they will pose when we're planning urban transport and land use policies. So I'm really pleased to be welcoming our guest lecturers today. Our first lecturer is Dr. Frances Hollis, an emeritus reader in architecture at London Metropolitan University and a founder of the Work Home project. Frances will explain how the pandemic has changed our urban needs. Her talk will be followed by one from Mel Barrett, Chief Executive of a city I know very well, Nottingham City Council. So it's very good to see the representation of Nottingham here in our capital. And Mel will offer a city leader's perspective on the challenges the city now faces. The ITC is delighted to be partnered in this lecture by the Centre for Transport Studies at UCL. And as I'm very much aware, the Centre for Transport Studies is one of the country's leading academic transport research centres. We're really grateful to Professors Peter Jones and Nick Tyler for making it possible to host the event in person for the first time since 2019. So I really look forward to the talks and look forward to the conversation that will happen, as I'm sure, as a result of such stimulating presentations. Thank you.
Thanks very much.